confidence isn't just about being sure of your abilities, it's about accepting and being okay with your flaws. Hi guys, it's New! Today's video is a request from Infernal Blaze, and the topic is confidence and how to cultivate it and the will to do things even when you feel awful. Oof, this is a hard one. I've gotten this question before, and it's actually really surprising to me when people think that I am a confident person, because the truth is, I'm scared shitless most of the time about everything that I do. And my confidence is not like a stable thing, it's just kind of blah, you know? But it's that fear underneath it that makes me want to not even try things and just hide in my room instead. So it's hard for me not to just say, well, I'm scared of doing things, but I force myself to do them anyway, even when I feel like a piece of shit and I have no confidence, and just wrap the video up like that, because there's definitely a lot more to it. Now, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a life coach, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I've learned about my journey with confidence and my daily struggle with it. At the end of the video, I'll share with you some affirmations that I use and also maybe some book recommendations that can help you. So the first step, obviously, is identifying that you do have a confidence issue, which I definitely do. But then I try to ask myself, you know, where is that wavering confidence and lack of confidence coming from? Sometimes it's perfectionism, self-doubt, it's having a shame identity, it's fear a lot of the time with me, fear of rejection. If I don't have the confidence in myself that I'm going to do well, I'll be rejected, and that's a really, really intense emotional pain that we try to avoid, right? A lot of confidence issues can stem from negative programming, negative beliefs, limiting beliefs about yourself. That's a whole other thing that, you know, you have to get into. But I think a big one for me is the rejection part of it. So I'm going to talk about that just because I have the most experience and understanding of where it comes from in me. Like I said, rejection is an incredibly painful feeling to experience, and it's important to recognize that instead of just like brushing it off as a silly feeling that you shouldn't be experiencing, because it's very real and it's very intense, especially for those of us who are extra sensitive to rejection. Rejection makes you feel unworthy, unlovable, and for those of us who struggle with depression and trauma and stuff like that, it can make us feel like we weren't ever meant to be born over like little things that might seem really silly. That rejection just brings up all of those feelings in us, and it's really hard to get back out of that dark place. Identifying this was really huge for me because it gave me a new perspective to like look back at my childhood and see the different like rejections that I had and the reactions that they caused in me. And even when I was little, I had those feelings like, oh, I'm a piece of shit and I shouldn't have been born. It's trauma, it's negative programming. It's really difficult because it sticks, right? Especially when we're little and our brains are already really sticky and grabbing a bunch of stuff that we experience and forming our reality around those experiences. Rejection has a really gross tendency to make us view things in a very limited way. It doesn't matter what kind of rejection it is. It could be like a job, a relationship, a school, even like a random interaction with a stranger. So when we experience that, we think, I was rejected, I'm worthless, I'm unlovable, I have no talent, I'm not smart enough. We get these like very narrow thoughts about ourselves, and we define ourselves based on that rejection. And especially if that's on top of other rejections that you faced, you just feel it like an affirmation. You're like, oh, I am a piece of shit then because I was rejected all these times and then this happened. We take that reaction, those hurt feelings about ourselves, as the objective reality when it's not. Just because we were rejected doesn't mean that any of those things we're thinking about ourselves is true. But when you're in it, it's really hard to see from an outside perspective, right? Because you're just in it. You're in the middle of the storm. It's only when you can step outside of that storm and think like, whoa, why was I thinking all those mean things about myself? It takes a long time to get there though. It's a wounded emotional reaction that we're having to a very real pain, and it's important to recognize that because it does make a lot of barriers in the lives of so many people. We're so afraid of that feeling that we don't even try, and so then we end up living unfulfilled, even though it's something that we feel like we have to do or we'll die. Rejection happens. You don't get accepted into every school, every job, every person you ask out doesn't say yes. Like I said, that confidence isn't just about you and your abilities, but in your ability to bounce back and to take care of yourself. Because we think, if I get rejected, I will die. I will literally die. That's how we feel, and for some people that is a very scary thing to feel. I know it might seem too simple when I explain it that way, but remember, I've been working as an actor and a model for about 6 years now. It's a lot of rejection. Imagine that you're going on job interviews all the time, hundreds a year, and you only book maybe one job per every 30 interviews that you do. That's what auditioning is like. And auditioning is a challenge. Sometimes I have no confidence and I go in there and I bomb it. Sometimes I have all the confidence and I go in there and I bomb it. I've bombed a lot of auditions. The point is that it's taken so much inner work for me to get to a place where that rejection doesn't crush me on a daily basis. Because when I first started doing this kind of work, or even before I started when I said I wanted to, all the people around me, family members, friends, they were like, oh, that's a lot of rejection. Are you sure you can handle it? They were projecting their fear onto me, but also I was just a really sensitive kid, and they were like, I don't know if you can handle that. And I was just like, I'll be fine. And I wasn't always fine. There have been times when I didn't get a job that I really wanted, and I'm in bed crying for 3 days because I feel worthless and I feel like I'm wasting my time. The next thing that's really important to realize is that confidence isn't just about being sure of your abilities. It's about accepting and being okay with your flaws. It's about loving yourself as a whole, and that's incredibly difficult. I'm not going to pretend that once you start meditating or doing affirmations, you're just going to be like, I love myself. No, it's a battle for me. It's taken a long time for me to get to a point where I can say, yeah, I love myself. I kind of have a detachment from it because I'm like, I love this human that I'm taking care of. I don't know who this is. Is this me? Does this represent who I am? I don't know. I'm in this human body, and it's my job to take care of it. I can't wait to be a robot, honestly. But I beat myself up about stuff all the time. Future me, who is editing this video, is probably going crazy. I look at myself and I'm like, who would want to listen to this asshole? This person is stupid, they don't use words right, they flub their words a lot, they stammer, they're embarrassing, they're shameful, they're weird looking. It's just mean, bad brain, trauma thoughts, running in my head. And sometimes it'll take me weeks, even months, to work up the confidence and the courage to post one of my vlogs, because I just feel like they're out to get me. It's that default setting that we have sometimes in our brain, like they're out to get me, they're all gonna laugh at me, So something that really helps me with that is asking, what's the worst possible outcome? What's the worst that could happen, right? So let's say it's something like this, vlogging, or you want to start a podcast, but you don't have any confidence in yourself and your abilities, and so that takes you back to being, a fear of being rejected because of your perceived inadequacies, right? If it helps, whip out a journal or pull up a text document and write down all the worst possible things that are in your head about what could happen. And let more come up. Let everything that you're scared of come up and write it down. What's the worst thing that could happen if I post this vlog? What's the worst thing that could happen if I start a podcast or if I ask this person out? I have been amazed by the bullshit my brain comes up with for all the worst possible things that it's afraid of. Oh, people will think you're stupid. Okay? Who's people? Who are they? People will laugh at you. Cool. I laugh at myself all the time. People will be mean and make fun of your vlogs and make fun of the way you talk and the way you look. Well, I already do that to myself, so I don't, what's it gonna do? And then the more you write, you'll see the really ridiculous ones come out. The ones where it's like, they're gonna get you, like you're being hunted by lions. Which brings me to my next point. So when you feel those fears, stop for a moment. Observe how your body is reacting to these fears. Your heart might be racing, your throat might close up, your stomach might not, you might start sweating, you might feel your ears burning, from imagining how embarrassed you'll feel if whatever one of these fears happen. Our fears have not evolved yet. So we're still afraid of being chased and hunted down, but now it's like a social setting, right? It's a social thing. But our body doesn't know that. Our body doesn't know that your fear is just like a social thing, so it's still gonna react that way. Something I really want to stress also is it's really important not to judge yourself for what you're feeling. You're not going to help anyone, especially not yourself, if you start beating yourself up about what you're feeling. Like, wow, I'm such an idiot for feeling nervous about this or for having no confidence. You know, why can't I just do this? Why can't I feel this? When you start beating yourself up like that, you're going to feel worse about it. When you start doing that, just try to build that awareness to be like, whoa, hey, I don't need to be mean about myself about this. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to. This is hard. It might sound easy the way that I'm saying it, but I know that it's not. I beat myself up constantly, like I said, about everything. Every little thing. I feel like an asshole all the time. I feel like an idiot. It's just my brain. It's just programming. So when you start to feel that way, your heart's racing and you're blah, and then you're like, why am I such a baby? Just take a step back, stop, take a deep breath, hug yourself if you need to. It helps. Do it right now. See? Hug, squeeze yourself. Hell, if you're home, get a blanket and roll yourself up like a burrito. It helps. You gotta do something to calm down, right? Instead of judging the feelings that you're feeling, try acknowledging them. Say, I'm scared. And that's okay. It's just what I'm feeling. Because I'm a human being, and I have a heart and a nervous system, and it's reacting to a perceived threat. That's okay. Make this a practice, sitting and acknowledging your feelings, acknowledging what your body is going through. Because ultimately, your body doesn't know what's happening. Your body is just trying to protect you. Your body's going, I'm in danger. Oh no, the human is freaking out. It's in danger. And it's preparing you to run away and to fight, right? But it doesn't need to, and you're gonna wear yourself out. Literally, you're gonna wear out your adrenal glands if you let it run. But the point is, instead of like resisting and fighting and arguing with it and just like being mean to yourself about it, when you can step back and observe and acknowledge what you're going through, it helps to release that resistance. You have to work at it like a muscle. One last thing before I move on, it's really, really important that you have a good support system. And I know that might not be accessible to everyone. Not everyone has a big, supportive group of friends who will be there to cheer you on. You need to have people who are on the same wavelength as you, who are not going to tear you down. For my whole life, pretty much until after high school, even for a while after high school, I had friends who were jealous, petty, mean people who were constantly tearing me down about myself. Everything I did was wrong, my voice was wrong, everything about me. And it's taking a long time still to deprogram from that. Like I've always said in so many of my videos, it's an ongoing process and it's hard, but it's worth it. If there's someone in your life who is contributing to your confidence problems, do your best to get away from them. I know that might not be possible if, you're living with them, if it's a parent or a sibling or like an abusive roommate or partner. You don't deserve that. You do not deserve someone like that in your life making you feel awful. No one deserves that, okay? So please, even if you can't get away from them, like moving out, you have to try to make some kind of space so you can reconnect with who you are and detach from what they're trying to project onto you, like their idea of you. That is seriously damaging. Growing up, I didn't have a sense of who I was because I was just like a combination of everyone else's idea of who I was, and that was really horrible, just not a good way to live. Their feelings about you are not the fact of who you are. This is why something like meditation can be really beneficial, because it allows you to detach from all the different rules you play in life and all the different that kind of energy that people put on you and mean behavior, abusive kind of stuff. You can detach from that and get back in touch with you, who you are at your core, not who everyone else thinks you are. Okay, so here are some affirmations that have been really helpful for me, and I hope that they can help you too. Remember, you can use affirmations anytime. You can use them when you wake up in the morning, before work, while you're getting ready, while you're driving, during meditation, in your journal, on a walk. Anytime that you can fit them in is great. Just remember to make it a daily practice. Also remember that if an affirmation triggers your brain to go, no, that's a sign that you need to work on that belief about yourself. If you're not sure how affirmations work, I'll leave a link below to a little blog post I wrote about affirmations and hypnosis. I know some people get really weirded out about hypnosis, so I just want to clarify. Hypnosis is not someone doing something to you. You are the one putting yourself into a state of relaxation so that you can deprogram, basically. Okay, so here are the affirmations, and I'll leave them down below so you can copy and paste them if you need to. I am safe. I like myself. I am happy and free just being me. I am supported. I am enough. I am compassionate with others and myself. I am patient with others and myself. I am worthy. I face challenges with excitement. I attract supportive, positive people into my life. I'm grateful for what I have, and I accept more. I'm open to the mystery of my path. I release shame. I release guilt. I release beliefs that don't serve me. I believe in my abilities, and I'm open to learning more. Okay, so book recommendations. These books aren't just about confidence, but about everything to do with yourself, your mind-body thing, and worrying and nagging thoughts and all that kind of stuff. So the first one is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson. My dad got me this little book, and it was really helpful in recognizing that I worry so much about stuff that isn't even part of my reality, you know? We just worry and worry. It's like a little hamster in our head, and this book helps you step by step to tackle those beliefs, those thoughts, those things. The next book is The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. I've mentioned this book in another vlog, I think, but even if the word soul in the title is too woo-woo for you, I would recommend checking this book out because it does offer you a hand to hold in the process of breaking down and recognizing the way the mind works and how it is so disruptive in our daily lives. And like I said, it's not always easy. It's an ongoing process. You're never fully out of it, but you can make progress. Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much to my patrons, and a shout out to my superstar holograms, Tate and Violet Moon. I leave you with a good luck kiss, mwah, and may the spoons be with you. Bye! These books are not just for you're 19? Oh my god, I can't talk.